What's up, guys? Welcome to my stretching video. This is a stretching routine that I do on a daily basis. Obviously, sometimes it changes if things are a little bit tighter than I would like them to be, or something's in pain, etc. But you can hopefully use this in your own daily routine and or adapt it to your own lifestyle. So I'm just going to start most of the things while standing up. You won't be able to see my face, but I do have the camera angled in a position where you should be able to see all the movements. I will be putting the movements up on the screen for you to look at and follow along, so if you want to write them down or whatever. And then I'll also put the full workout in the description as well. So let's get started. We're going to start with mostly lower body, do upper body stuff at the end. And yeah, so we're going to get started. So we're going to get started by getting into a calf raise with our glute engaged and just pressing into that front leg. We're going to breathe here for a second. And we're going to go ahead and switch sides, putting the other foot in the same position, really driving that back heel down, making sure it's touching the ground at all times. And once again, contracting that glute muscle. Good. Now we're going to come into a hip distance stance and come into a forward fold. Just a slight bend in the knees so we're not hyperextending, reaching as far as you can and also letting the neck relax too. Just breathing. Once you've taken a few breaths, inhale your arms all the way up to the top. Take one foot over the other, both heels on the ground, fold forward. Again, we're just breathing here. If you're a little bit more flexible than me, then you may want to walk your hands off to the side, which will increase the stretch. Once you've taken a few breaths, we're going to come back to the middle, stretching down and inhaling all the way up, hands to the top. Then we're going to switch sides, folding forward, heels on the ground, and breathing. Once again, if you're a little bit more flexible than me, then you can walk your hands off to the side, which will give a little bit more stretch for those IT bands. Once you're done here, you're going to come back to the middle, a little bit of a stretch, coming all the way up to the top. And we're going to come back down to the middle one more time before we transfer into a bit of a lunge. So I'm going to take a big step forward now, placing my opposite leg down. Knees on the ground, my back foot is flat, and I'm pressing into that front leg, keeping my torso upright, feeling the stretch in the opposite side hip. Now I'm going to take my left hand, placing it flat on the mat, no fingertips, and opening up as far as I feel comfortable towards the front leg. Then we're going to switch hands. Right hand goes down right inside that foot, opening up against the grain, breathing. Now I'm pushing back on the left leg, straightening out the front and leaning forward, trying to relax that front knee and quad. Now I'm going to grab this little block behind me. If you have a block, great. If not, no problem. You can use a book or a pillow, or you might be flexible enough that this might not even be necessary. So now I'm coming into a pigeon pose here, okay? Crossing my leg across my body, should be right up near my chest. Making sure that my leg and foot are flexed, so that we're not exposing the knee to any troubles, and just folding forward as much as I feel comfortable. If I am using a block, it's going to be under my butt or lower hip on the right side, just so we're not putting extra tension on that knee. Now I'm going to come out of this, come into a down dog, and then stretch out my torso with a Cobra pose. Couple breaths here, really opening up the chest. Then we're going to come back into down dog and switch the lunge. So taking the left foot forward here, placing the right knee down, nice and upright in the torso, pressing into that front leg, feeling the stretch on the opposite side hip. Now we're going to take that right hand down, opening up towards the front leg as far as feels comfortable. Breathing. And we're going to switch sides. Left hand goes down right inside that foot, opening up against the grain. Now as you can see, I'm only looking to the side. I don't have the flexibility to look all the way up, and that's totally fine if you don't as well. Now we're going to push back into that right leg, straightening out the front, folding forward and trying to relax that front knee and quad. You'll see I was trying to put my sweatshirt drawstring away. Now I'm coming back into that pigeon pose on the other side, keeping that front foot flexed, protecting the knee. And again, you'll see I have to use that block under my left side hip and glute. Like I said, you may or may not need a prop, but a prop is easily available in pretty much any homes, unless you, for some reason, live without pillows or books or shoes or anything really. So a couple breaths here. Then we're going to come out of it again, back into down dog, and again into Cobra. I'm going to move that block out of the way. And from here, we're going to come into a frog pose, okay? Not a child's pose. I'm getting my legs out as wide as I feel comfortable, and this is a hip stretch, okay? So I'm sending my butt back, but I'm not sitting back on my feet, and my hips are out nice and wide. From here, I am going to move my knees in and come into a child's pose. And with this, I am really pressing down in my palms to elongate the body and create a nice lat stretch. I'm going to walk my hands off to the left side. Again, bringing a wider range to that lat stretch. You'll definitely feel it on the right side here. Breathing. And coming off onto the other side. You'll see here I just went all the way over, but sometimes it helps to walk yourself over as well to increase that stretch little by little. And we're going to come back to the middle. Now I'm going to go ahead and cross one hand over the other for a little bit of a shoulder stretch. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You can just cross them over. I just took the above hand and put it underneath. Now we're going to go into a bit of a shoulder stretch here. So as you can see, I'm kind of curled up into this little weird ball, but I'm pressing down with the bottom of my right hand here and kind of pulling back a little bit to get that shoulder stretch going. Same thing on the other side. Good. Now I'm going to come onto my back here and I'm going to pull my knees in tight to my chest just for a moment and then release one leg. So we're getting that hip stretch. If you want, you can pull this leg off to the side a little bit more, open up those hips more. Now, shortly I'm going to come into a bit of a figure 4. Now with this, it's important to keep both those legs nice and flexed, again, to protect the knee. And while doing this, I'm using my left elbow to push my left leg open a little bit more. So even as I'm bringing everything in, I'm also simultaneously pushing my left leg out. Now we're going to go into a bit of a back stretch, so I'm stacking the hips and turning all the way over to the other side. It helps if you have a little bit more room, but totally possible in a confined space as well. I'm going to do the same exercise on the other side. I did some pointless shuffling around here, but we're going same thing, pulling that right leg in towards the chest. Again, you can pull this leg out to the outside for a little bit more open hip stretch if you want. Just like so. Again, bring it into a figure 4. Both feet stay flexed. And as you can see, I'm pushing with that right arm, pushing that knee outwards as I'm pulling in. Now I'm going to pointlessly shuffle back to this side and do that back open stretch. I got a good crack on this one. Like I said, definitely easier with some more space, but if you're in a confined place, totally possible. Now I'm going to come into a bit of a happy baby, pulling my feet down, open the legs up. You can do a little bit of a rock if you want to. But from here, I'm just going to put my feet together like a butterfly. I came all the way into seated position to do this, just to get them a little closer to my butt. And then I'm going to lean back and relax, really trying to let those hips fall open. And now we're going to go into a bit of a Shavasana type pose. My legs are all the way out straight, and my shoulders and arms are all the way out straight. You can't see, but my hands are connected. A little bit of an extra shoulder stretch there. This is the conclusion of our workout. Thank you for coming to my stretching session today. Try to say that 5 times really fast. I dare ya, but I don't think you'll be able to do it because this is take, I don't know, 500 of me saying stretching session. Anyway, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. It's an amazing stretching session that takes just less than 15 minutes. It's helped me greatly with my back pain on a regular basis. It helps me perform better with workouts, be less sore, and just overall feel better. I usually do it right before I go to bed, but it also works great in the morning or, of course, after workouts. Totally up to you. Try to do it as many times a week as you can, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or DM me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. See you soon.